There are so many AI note takers these days, and having the right one can be essential if you have many meetings throughout the day. In this video, I wanted to share about Granola, which is an AI note taker that feels natural and intuitive, doesn't join as a bot, allows you to focus on writing your own notes while still having the meeting transcript at the end. My favorite parts is also the chat feature that you can use during the meeting, and the recipes or pre-made prompts that you can use. Let's dive right in. To get started with Granola, you'll want to go to granola.ai, and then you can download it for either Mac or Windows. In terms of mobile use, you can use it on iOS. So once you have that downloaded, you can already get started with using Granola. You have a home view where you can see all of your upcoming meetings if you connect it to your calendar. At the top, you can see that you can invite people to your workspace, and you can even do quick notes just by clicking here. A key component of Granola is this chat bar that you find everywhere on the page, which means that you can chat with your notes that you take in various sections. So this is the home view, but you can also see your shared with me area. You can also go just directly to chat to ask anything directly there. You can also have spaces. So in some ways, the setup is kind of similar as a Notion user, that you have your team space here and then your private section. So you can add different folders and store different meeting notes within different folders. And then you can also have a place for your team that everything is shared. And all of those notes could go in the team space, and you can kind of get this overview of all of your team's calls in one place. So I find that very interesting. On the bottom, you can see here that these are recipes. So I'm going to go over those a bit later. Then you can see, if you click here, people. So anyone you interact with on Granola gets saved in people. So you can also have somewhat of a CRM also built into Granola. And then you can also click here to see all of the companies that are here. If you click it, for example, you can see all of the sessions that you've had with a specific company. And then if you click here, you can see all of the different kinds of settings that you can have. So the most important part is the settings. So you'll be able to find all kinds of settings in here, and you can set up your calendar, and then also notification over here, and all kinds of other things that we'll go over a bit later. Now let's go over how to start a meeting note. So if you have Granola downloaded onto your computer, it should automatically recognize when you start having a meeting. If you don't, you can simply go to Quick Note just to start adding a new meeting note. And you can already see that it's actually already transcribing over here. So you can see my words over here. And you can even click here to select English or multi-language, for example. And in some ways, it's very hidden. The way that the Granola transcript is working, it's kind of discreet so that you can really focus on taking your own notes. So I can adding my own notes about this call, and I can also ask it questions while I'm on the call. So I found this very interesting. I'll have client calls, and during the client call, maybe the client will say something to me that I don't understand or know about. Then I can ask in Granola while I am having the call, what do you think this client means about this element? So this kind of real-timeness is really interesting. And then you can also title the note. So consultation meeting. You can also add people as attendees to this meeting note. So let's say that I want to add something like this. I can add the person here, and it already comes up with share notes, their LinkedIn profile, and also if I want to remove them. So it's interesting that way. And then I can also choose the folder it should go in. So if this is a client call, I can just put them in client call. So once I'm done with the note and the meeting itself, I can just stop the transcript. And I can even click enhance notes for it to start making my notes in a more clear way and analyzing the transcript. Once you have ended the meeting, so you can immediately share with people in the call. You can also just copy the link to the call, and then you can see here, you can copy the text, connect Slack, save to Notion, draft email. So there's quite a lot you can do in here. It's nice because it doesn't just join your calls automatically like some bot-based note takers do. And it just feels very calm to take notes inside of Granola because I don't have to constantly see the transcript going on. I can really focus on what I'm hearing and then ask any questions I might have into the chat, which knows my transcript. Next, let's go over one of the key features of Granola, which is the recipes. I really like the name of this feature as well, since it kind of fits with the food theme. But recipes are kind of a way to store certain prompts that you can apply to your meeting notes and notes as a whole. So for example, if I click on this one, I can use this person's method and try the recipe. So for example, if I just click here, so I feel like I'm talking to a coach that can give me some insights about it with the recipes. I can also type / to load recipes. For example, if I want recent to-dos, all I have to do is click here. So as you can see here, it allows me to use a recipe in order to get my recent to-dos. Some other recipes that I can access, you can see all of these. You can really utilize some of the community made ones, as well as you can even create your own. So if I click here, I can use this recipe for single meetings, decide the prompts, and you can also read the guide on how to write a good recipe. You can also write recipes for ones that apply to multiple meetings. So that would mean, for example, in folders like this one, where it has all of the client calls in one folder, I can also use recipes in here. As I mentioned, one of the key features of Granola for me is the fact that I can chat with all of my meeting notes no matter where I am and within different folders. So for example, these are only about client calls that go into this folder. So I can ask, what are the key insights about these calls? And Granola will analyze based on the calls that I've had so far here. I can even change the model over here and potentially attach any documents, and then I can just hit enter. So here you can see insights of my recent calls inside of Granola that I've been able to see just based on typing into the chat for that folder. I can do that in home as well, where it just analyzes all my meetings. I can even go to my personal folder and do the same thing. So during, after, and also while the meeting is going on, I can ask things like, what did I miss, or what should I ask next? And this can help me keep focused during the meetings. And finally, I wanted to go over some key integrations that you can set up with Granola so that you can connect it with your other tools. So if you go now to the settings here, and as you can see, there's integrations for Slack, where you can post notes to Slack channels, HubSpot, so you can add notes to HubSpot. There's also Notion integration, which I've already connected. And then there's also Zapier, there's Affinity and Adio. So you can really do a lot here with integrations. And if they don't fit what you're looking for, you can also use, for example, Zapier to then connect it to other tools. But I really like that you can already connect it to Notion. And what that looks like is that there's basically a custom template from Granola that you can use. And if I'm in a meeting note like this, then what I can do is just click the 3 dots here and just save to Notion. And it's going to then end up into my Notion workspace. So what that looks like, if I now go to my Notion workspace, is that you can see here consultation meeting, and everything is formatted really nicely. There's the link to the note from Granola, and everything ends up in here. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in trying out Granola, who's the sponsor of today's video, be sure to check the link in the description. For me, I found that Granola feels calm and intuitive to use, unlike other note takers that might join a call as a bot. The folder-based approach also makes it easy to get key insights for specific categories of calls. Have you tried Granola? Let me know what you think, and I hope to see you all in the next video.